John chapter 5, a paralytic is healed, right? We've heard this story many times on how Jesus went to the sheep's gate, which you can still visit today if you go to Jerusalem and you have the fortitude to go to the Temple Mount. You can go through the sheep's gate, and that is where they would take the sheep and the animals before they would be sacrificed and after, and they would wash them in these pools. So I'm sure it was like an amazing place to be back in those days. Not so pleasant, and especially with many, many sick people waiting to be healed. But today it is part of the Gospel of John and one of Jesus' miracles. So we are all, right? Let's just think of this in our text, right? And where we are today. We are all in need of healing and incapable of healing ourselves, right? We all have a sickness within us or upon us, and we are not capable of doing it and healing it ourselves. And that is what Jesus, one of the messages of today's gospel is about, that we all need help in healing ourselves. So the man was there for 38 years, and he was lying there waiting to be healed, right? So every year, sometimes it says once a year, sometimes it says it doesn't have a date or time when things happen, right? An angel comes down and troubles the water, and the first person that jumps in, they're healed. And so the man was there for 38 years, and Jesus went up to him, and he went there, right? And he came up to this one man, and he said to him, "Do you want to be healed?" Right? Do you want to be healed? He's asking him, and he's asking us all the time, do you want to be healed? He's not pushing it on us, right? God is not commanding us to be healed, right? He's not telling us that we must be healed. He's asking us. It is our choice. And it's this man's choice if he wants to be healed. And he goes on to explain that ultimately, I guess he's saying yes, right? He does want to be healed, but he has no one to lower him into the pool. And every time the waters are troubled, someone else steps in before him. And he misses his opportunity, right? He's not able to be healed by the troubling of the waters. And what does Jesus say? I think if we stopped it right there, and if this was a movie, right, we put it on pause on Netflix or HBO or whatever technology we had, VCRs, right, we hit the stop by pause, but what do you think is going to happen? If the rest of the book was torn away, what do you think was going to happen? You think Jesus would have maybe picked them up, right, dipped them in the water, and, you know about baptism and all that. Or do you think he might have taken some of the water and sprinkled it on him or laid his hands on him? But no. When we turn the page and we turn the VCR back on and we get back from getting our snack from Netflix, we hit the play button again. Jesus says, take up your pallet and walk. That's all he says. Take up your pallet and walk. And what does the man do? He takes up his pallet and he walks out. He doesn't say he'll do anything else, right? He doesn't tell him to go to the temple. He doesn't tell him to go preach far and wide. Right? He doesn't tell him that. He just says, take up your pallet and walk. And he was healed instantly, and he took up his pallet and walked. He was there for 38 years waiting for this event to happen, right? And then Jesus found him in the temple, right? And it was the Sabbath day. Of course, the Jews, they were after everybody. What's going on? What are you doing? Carrying your pallet. It's Saturday. You're not supposed to do any work on Saturday. It's the Sabbath. What are you doing? Carrying your pallet. And he told them, I'm doing what the man told me to do. And they said, well, what man was it? Who told you this? And he didn't know it was Jesus, right? This man had no knowledge of who Jesus was, right? And he took up his pallet and walked. And Jesus found him in the temple, and he told him to go and sin no more, right? Because he's trying to tell him and us that if we continue to sin and we continue to do evil things and let things build up in us without being healed, we will become lame and paralytic like this man. Right? He went and told Jesus, and he went and told the Jews, right? So the man went and told the Jews it was Jesus, and that's the end of the story. There's a little bit more of the story for, if you read on to the next passages in the Orthodox Jews had these laws that you couldn't work on Saturday. And Jesus is taking his divinity. He's showing how divine he is. You cannot tell me to stop working. Right? My Father is always working, and so am I. And that's basically what he told his apostles to do too, right? And he tells all of us. We're not silent on certain days or certain times in life, right? Jesus is always within us and working with us and working for us, right? He is with us. So when we look back a little bit about the story, some of the other things, right? The water is not what healed him, right? The water was put aside. We don't hear anything more about the water. It's just Jesus' word that saved this man. And it's not, it's the faith, right? It's the faith of the people. Because we know this man must have had extreme faith that he was going to be healed, to be laying beside this pool for 38 years. Every day, always watching the water, so when he was troubled, he could possibly jump in. Was he frustrated at some points? I'm sure he was. Was he angry at some points? I'm sure he was. Was he cold, and was he tired, and was he hot, and was he exhausted? I'm sure he was, but his faith came through, right? And we are all those things, right? We are tired sometimes, and we don't want to say our prayers. And we lose our faith because things are happening that we don't have any control over. But our faith needs to be strong, because the faith in Christ is going to be the thing that heals us, just like the paralytic. And when he went and asked him, do you want to be saved? I think they should make that a bumper sticker or something. Maybe they have already. A t-shirt. Much better than some of the things I've seen on t-shirts these days. But do you want to be healed? Right? And I think that we have to remember that. Sometimes we're just asking God for so many things. Help me here, help me there, help me this, help me this. But do we actually want to be healed? Are we saying it sincerely? Is it in our mind? When we go through the baptism, and when we go through the liturgy, and when we go through a marriage ceremony and a chrismation ceremony, and when we say just the creed that we say, we are declaring our faith, right? That is our faith in Jesus Christ. It's not we just don't do it one time, right? And then we can just go about our business. When the day comes, God will be there for me, right? He'll take care of me. I was baptized. No, we continuously speak about our faith. Even when we just bless ourselves, right? That's a prayer, and we're blessing ourselves as a sign of faith. I would say 99% of the people in the world, if they saw us doing that, they would understand that we're a Christian, right? That that's the sign of the cross. That we believe in God. That we have, and there's a whole string of things that goes with that, right? So when you see even a cross around someone's neck, most of the time, it's hard to say these days, but most of the time you can tell by the type of cross what that person believes in, right? And sometimes you know that they have some faith within them. Many times people say to me, I have this friend that has no faith at all. They don't believe in anything. Well, everyone believes in something, right? Even if they don't believe it, they have heard the word, right? They know who Jesus is. They know what the cross is. And if they don't, they must know some small little particle of the knowledge of God. And that within them can grow. And not only did Jesus heal this man of the physical ailments that he had, right? He was on a pallet. He obviously couldn't move. He couldn't put himself into the water, so we know something about him. But he healed his sin, right? His inner sin, what was within him. And he chose this one man to do that. Right? If there was many people all around on these 5 porches in the portico of the sheep's gate, he could have just healed them all. Right? Healed every single one of them with just a word. But he chose this man, right? This one man, 38 years lying there, and not only healed his physical, but his sins, and washed away all of his sins and took them all away. And reminded him of that when he saw him in the temple. And what he did after that, we don't know, right? There were some commentaries I was reading. We don't know who he was, right? We don't have Was he there at the crucifixion? Doesn't say. We don't know where he was after that. But from his getting healed and accepting the healing power of God, we know that by faith and our love towards God will heal us. We all need that help because we cannot heal ourselves. We all have sickness within us, and Christ